Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my shop. Today is May 23rd and it's my weekly shop update. So it has been a pretty busy week here in the shop and around here and all that stuff. Probably, it's hard to say what the biggest thing going on this week is, but it's probably a pretty good tie between the lumber clean out and these little cloud shelves that my wife and I finished up over the weekend. So as anyone who's a parent, you kind of understand that it is pretty rare and difficult to have a time where both you and your spouse can be alone without your kids. So we started the cloud shelves, I think back in February, when my wife was still on maternity leave, and we just finished up the construction of them finally this past weekend. So this has been a few month-long process, and it's not even that big of a project. But she did a really great job with these things. They're all sanded on nice. There's a nice little round over profile here, and the bottom part where the books go is a nice piece of walnut that we used in offcut. One of the only offcuts I kept from my lumber purge, a piece from when I made the crib. So we got the crib wood on the bottom here with the clouds, and we made 4 of them. So all that's left to do on these now is to apply some finish. I'm hoping it's not going to take 3 months or 2 months or whatever until we get around to doing that, but it should be pretty quick to sneak down here and apply some finish. Thinking on these, probably do a water-based poly to keep the maple nice and white. The the walnut also had a bullet in it, so a few of these shelves are bullet shelves. So as we were resawing that piece of wood to get the walnut down to thinner pieces, there's a bullet in there. So fun little touch. So the other thing going on in the shop this week that I just finished up was milling the panels for the porch swing. This is one of the side panels which is going to go on the side of the swing, kind of box things in. This is cherry, and I also have another piece for the other side and a piece for the back. And I think this is going to look super nice up against that ash. I'm going to leave the sapwood here in the cherry, so I'll blend in nicely with the sapwood in the ash, which is also pretty white. So other than that, in the shop this week, there's a lot of space in here. Like, it's kind of scary, you know, how much space, just because there isn't so much stuff. Now, I still have a lot of work to do as far as organization goes, but at this point, it's such a big difference because there's not, like, there's the space over here next to my table saw now, and the lumber rack isn't so crowded and, you know, full of junk looking. And just overall, it's just a more open space. So I'm pretty happy with the whole lumber purge thing. The whole stack of lumber that I had out there was gone. Well, there's a few things left, but a lot of it was pretty junky. But most everything was gone within that hour that I said that people were going to come by. So I think three people came by, took that whole stack. So all the stuff is off to a better home, and it's out of this place. So the thing I'm really liking about this lumber rack, I'm liking the look of it, not so full of junk and not so full of stuff. It's actually functional now as something I can put stuff on and take off. I'm still kind of debating what I want to do here, because I'm kind of thinking I don't really need 2 levels. I'm going to give it a few projects. I'll probably leave it like this for at least the rest of the year, maybe until later in the fall or something. Once I got a few projects through here, so I see how much space I really need using this system, because chances are I only need 1 level, and I can have some more room here for something else, some other kind of storage, or just to have less stuff, you know, jutting out into the space. So that's where that's going. Not really sure what I'm going to do on this wall here yet, or what I'm going to do with a lot of the other shop storage at this point. It's still a little early for that, but for sure the next thing I'm going to be doing is building the Elfie table, which is going to be, I'm pretty excited about the Elfie table. I'm doing a slab top live edge Elfie table, which is going to be pretty sweet. So yesterday I moved the last of my big logs up onto the mill. So this is a pretty exciting moment. I don't know when I'm going to cut this, either maybe later this week if I have time, or maybe most likely it'll be next week. But this kind of brings me back around, like, the whole journey that I've been on this whole like year of collecting all these big logs and then ending up building this bandsaw mill. This is like, it's the biggest log that I have as far as like width goes and just overall size. So I've been saving it for last, and it just, I don't know, it's just kind of a weird little sentimental thing coming back around to this whole journey it's kind of coming to an end, I guess, in a sense. But this piece of silver maple crotch should produce some really awesome lumber, and I'm looking forward to getting it cut up, getting it stacked, and getting it drying. And, you know, it's been a fun ride. So in preparation for this, last week I made a few more of my little leveler bases so I can get everything stacked and put away all in one go. Just be done with it. So I made 7 more of these. These are the 30-inch levelers, and then I made 4 of these 4-foot levelers. The 4-foot levelers are going to be for this log, and then the 30-inch levelers are going to be for another log or some other lumber I have that needs to be stacked, and then also the white oak log I cut a few weeks ago. So my plan is that once I get all the logs I have here cut, I'll finish up the sawmill to get it done as far as the first fully manual version goes, or kind of what it is right now, which pretty much really just involves painting the guards and the saw beam. But for all that, I got to take pretty much the whole saw head apart to paint it anyway. So I've been putting that off until I've been done with all the sawing, because I'd still rather be sawing everything I have here than grinding and painting. But I know a lot of you have been waiting for me to get that painted, so that'll be coming up probably sometime in June. But that's about it for out here. Let's head back into the shop and take a look at some viewer projects. First this week is a waterfall table by Zach. This is made from a burly walnut live edge slab with dual waterfall edges and splines. He says the walnut is really figured on the large base and has many burl type figured orbs on the top. And you can see more of Zach's work over on his website. Next are a pair of axes by Stefan. Stefan is 15 years old and he made these 2 axes. They were restored from axe heads he had laying around, and he wanted to fix them up for his dad. The handles are made from hardwood, but he's unsure of the species they're made from. He said there was a lot of sanding and shaping to do, and each axe took a few days to make, but was worth it. Next is the joinery sample project by Rob. This is Rob's first project, starting with a tree. He saw a video about Japanese joinery and that inspired the design. The Morrison tenon base joins to the top with sliding dovetails, and the legs rotate 90 degrees to lay flat. He wood burned the text in the top, and is finished with 2 coats of Danish oil and then 6 coats of tung oil. Lastly is a crib by Dustin. The sides are attached by Morrison tenon, and the front and back are detachable, so it can be transformed into a toddler bed as well as a headboard or footboard someday. So I think that's about all I have for this week. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today or anything here in my shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.